Hello, today we're going to be working on a 2000, I believe it's a 4 Honda Element. Driver came in and says he got a transmission leak. I don't know if it's slow, but it's there, I can see it. I traced it down to basically on these Honda Elements and CRVs, a lot of Honda cars, they have an inline transmission filter. I'll show you what it looks like right here. This sits at the front of the engine right by the radiator, and I'll show you when I take it off. Honda doesn't really recommend replacing these unless necessary. It's usually if you got to replace a transmission, or if you open up the transmission system, they say to replace it, or if it's been damaged. It looks like on this one it's either rusted out or it's received damage that's causing it to leak. So I'll show you where the leak is, and here's the part number right here for the Honda Element. I believe it's 2004. This is going to be the part number in case you have to replace it, and I'll show you where the leak is coming from next. You look way down here past the fans. The transmission filter is going to be down there. There's going to be pretty difficult to get it from up here. It looks like there's a bolt that bolts into the frame, so I'll show you the easiest way to access it underneath. You can see from here, looks like we have a good amount of transmission fluid leaking from here under the splash pan, and right there you can see it's all wet with transmission fluid. So the first thing we're going to do is pop off all these clips here, all these clips around here, and we'll access the front panel and see if we can get a look at the where the leak's coming from. I removed the original filter. You can see it's all rusted out, and that's where it was leaking from down here. So it was pretty much had a slow leak once pressure built up. And I'll take you under the car and show you how to the easiest way to replace it. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see here. This is where it sits. The filter unit sits in the car. Let me get a light here, then you can kind of see it. So what I did was basically, the bolts on top that secure it were rusted, so I wasn't able to unbolt the unit out. So what I did was I just bent that metal clasp up. I stuck a screwdriver there and bent it up. I undid the metal spring on the right side, and then what I did was, if you follow it along the rail here, I undid this metal spring and pulled it down. It was a lot easier. And then I just fished it out through this opening. Then what I did was I reinstalled it. I put the new filter in, and then I put it in place. I bent the top down right here, and then because I bent it, it wouldn't go back in the hole correctly, so I just stuck a zip tie in there. That's good enough. This car's got pretty much 200,000 miles, so I'm not really worried about it. And that's pretty it. I mean, it's not that difficult of a job. I mean, if it wasn't rusted, that would have came out and it would have been done a little bit cleaner. But because of the rust issues, those bolts weren't able to become undone, so I just had to kind of do the next best thing. All right, if you have any, now I'm just going to button up the plastic here, and we'll be done.